Hello, and welcome to the NMTC Application Registration webinar. My name is Adrian Russell, Senior Policy and Program Officer with the New Markets Tax Credit Program. During this webinar, I'm going to exhibit the features of a component of the NMTC allocation application, the application registration. During this webinar, I'll show you how to access the application registration, how the application registration works, and what to expect once you've completed your application registration. To access the application registration, you'll need to generate an NMTC AMIS application from an AMIS account appropriately linked to your organization. This webinar assumes that you know how to generate an NMTC AMIS application at this point, but if you are unfamiliar with this process, please see the NMTC AMIS application webinar or the NMTC Program Application AMIS Navigation Guide for more details on this process. Once you've generated your application and accessed it from your NMTC profile within AMIS, you'll begin on the main page of the NMTC AMIS application. Use the menu on the left side of the page to find and select the link to the NMTC application registration. On the page itself, most of the fields you see will be pre-populated, but there are a few for which you'll need to make a selection or an input. For example, questions 2A and 2B on the application registration page are pre-populated with the applicant's organization name and employer identification number, while question 2E is editable, which allows you to select a response. Pre-populated questions are based on information found within your AMIS organization profile. If you find any information that appears to be incorrect, please find the respective fields in your organization profile, make the necessary corrections, and that should be it. Of course, save your corrections. Once the corrections have been saved in the organization profile in AMIS, the data will be automatically updated in the NMTC AMIS application registration. Each of the question responses shown in the application registration section will flow through to the respective locations within the AMIS application. However, the application fields connected to the application registration will be read-only. Let's return to question 2E, for example. So I've saved this response in the NMTC application registration, and upon navigating to the applicant information section and checking on 2E in the question 2 subsection, we'll see that question 2E has been pre-populated and that this field cannot be edited. I'll also remind you that you'll still need to hit the save button on this page to make sure that the edits of the pre-populated information is saved and you see the check mark on the left-hand side menu for this question. All sections must be complete and display a green check mark to submit the final AMIS application by the deadline in the NOAA. As you progress through the AMIS application registration section, don't forget to save your responses. Once you complete all the fields in the application registration section, select yes. So I'm going to navigate down, and so you should select yes, hit the save button, and your responses will be locked from further edits. You should also check the left-hand side menu to confirm that you have a green check mark for this section, which signifies the completion of this component. If your organization's authorized representative happens to change between the time you submit your application registration and the final AMIS application submission deadline, please send a service request as soon as possible so that we can process the request and make the change. This is critical to avoid any delays in the submission of your final AMIS application. After you complete your application registration, you'll receive an automated email indicating that you've successfully submitted your application registration. As a reminder, failure to complete and save the application registration section by 5 p.m. Eastern Time on the date of the application registration deadline specified in the NOAA will prevent you from submitting your application. Successfully completing and saving the application registration does not mean that you've submitted your final AMIS NMTC application. Please continue to complete the other sections of the AMIS allocation application in accordance with the deadlines and guidance within the NMTC application frequently asked questions document and the Notice of Allocation Authority document. Also, please refer to the NMTC program AMIS Navigation Guide for instructions on completing the rest of the NMTC AMIS application. Thanks. And if you have any questions about the application registration section, please submit an AMIS service request to the NMTC queue no later than 24 hours prior to the application registration deadline as specified in the Notice of Allocation Authority. Thank you for your time and have a good day.